For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
NewsSpin is the best. Listen up. NewsSpin is the best. Me say listen up massive. NewsSpin is the best, yeah. Better than every talk show. The most conscious monitor talk show. All across the world. Check the signal, it blaze up the airwave. NewsSpin on your radio, hear me now. Tune in the frequency, come along, Junior. NewsSpin a vice up the place. NewsSpin is the best. Listen to the masses. NewsSpin is the best. Knowledge must abound. NewsSpin is the best. Fancy mound knock a play way. NewsSpin is the best. Papa Bondier by team, all man. A crappy land all across the globe. Echoes of voices, we join in hand. Harmony rising with the afternoon sun. Come along, NewsSpin has begun. NewsSpin is the best. Better than every talk show. The most conscious monitor talk show in the world. The true facts about Sophia volcano, Sandy Beach, banana and Sneak Mango. Voices from the chat room, the capital Castries Hills. We feel you on Caribbean breeze. Teaching the truth, making hearts feel ease. Knowledge must open up every mind. Learn about your island home. We leave no one behind. NewsSpin on your radio. Pull up the volume, Joe. NewsSpin on your radio. Pull up your seats. Afternoon time. NewsSpin on your radio. Come along. NewsSpin on your radio. Let the message strong. Between the youth and the elders, we stand tall. Voices lift up high. trees to mountains top. Learn your history, share your dreams. Together we line me word with our hymns. NewsSpin is the best. Better than every talk show. The most conscious monitor talk show in the world.
I know one individual who can do with a couple of SSDF checks. We'll be hearing from him in just a moment. You'll also be hearing from a young St. Lucian, promising individual. What does the future hold for this individual? And a whole lot more, including your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. Jante is here, the NewsSpin Queen, already going through your comments in the chat rooms via Facebook and YouTube. We hope you're having yourself an enjoyable and fantastic Wednesday. I know one such individual who can do with a couple of checks from the St. Lucia Social Development Fund. And we need not carry out a poll to determine whether that would meet your approval. 100% of the St. Lucian population would agree that the SSDF should be eager to assist him. He has been crying out for assistance. The last time he called the broadcast was in April of this year, just ahead of the hurricane season, and lamenting treatment being meted out to him both by the mother of a disabled son as well as the authorities. Let's listen to Mr. Fatal Ishmael as he called the broadcast in April of this year.
Calling on Equity, please, if they could come and see what's going on with me. I'm 66 years old. A lady leave a child from me, disabandoned that child is 3 years now. She come and visit that child for in 3 years only twice. And right now I have to deal with all the issues. I need a caretaker. My living condition is not good, and nobody. And people have come through me for so many years. I get some promises from someone that was there to help me. This one I already sent a notice to them. Up to now, team, nobody has helped me, and hurricane season is coming. I have to move. I have to go because I have this disadvantaged child. That child, I can't deal with it alone right now because he's disabled and he's getting really big and stuff. The mother don't care with him. As I say, is only twice in 3 years the mother come and check her. Her name is Delia Ismail. You all know her very well at Equity.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, you all know her.
Let me ask you, what is your number? If the folks of the Ministry of Equity are listening and they would want to contact you, what is your telephone number, sir?
715
715
5726.
5726 715 5726. And I'm sure that since you said that you have taken your issue to the Ministry of Equity, that they would be familiar with your situation. But
let me give you more. Let me give you a little more, Tim.
Yes, sir.
I am supposed to have a caretaker to take care of my child with me because of my living conditions, Tim. I live in Cedar Heights, and my toilet is still outside of my house. My bathroom is still outside of my house.
Mm-hmm.
How can I take a caretaker to come and take care of a child for me for 3 years right now? Right now, I tell you, I'm 66 years old. I can't do it anymore. I need some help.
And certainly you've been crying out for that help. I remember the first time you called a NewsSpin, it would have been maybe about 2 years ago.
That's a while now.
About
That's
2
a nice one. Yeah, that's a while.
Yes. And you're saying since that time you have not received any kind of assistance?
No assistance. The prime minister, the last prime minister that was in View 40, gave me a letter to take to True Value. They tell me they will help me with some assistance. There are some other people that tell me they give me some assistance. The Lions come to me and tell me they're giving me assistance. And I'm still here, struggling, and two months away from hurricane season. I don't know where I have to go with my kid. And nobody is there in my plea.
Just so there from Mr. Fatal Ishmael, called the broadcast in April of this year, pleading with the authorities, Ministry of Equity, St. Lucia Social Development Fund, provide the requisite assistance to assist him so that he can continue to struggle to take care of his disabled son. And what you normally hear from those authorities, your Equity and your SSDF, that we can't do everything for everyone in St. Lucia who is in need. But how do you explain checks out there in the open on social media, $1,008, $1,004, $400, etc.? How do you explain that? So SSDF, you're now in an uncomfortable position. Your back is against the wall. And very soon, I have no doubt that you will have to address this issue, address the St. Lucian public directly. You have no choice but to reach out to people like Mr. Ishmael and to provide the requisite assistance that he's been crying out for. It's people of that ilk who are desirous, who are worthy of receiving that level of assistance. It's not monies that should be used in the wrong way. Let's put it that way. And I'm sure that the majority of the St. Lucian public will say, good job to you, SSDF, if you reach out to Mr. Fatal Ishmael. That money would be put to a good cause. And talking about hearing from the SSDF, the opposition is saying to the Prime Minister, is urging the Prime Minister to deliver an address to the nation without delay. And this was done in a press release. And allow me to go through that press release now in its entirety. It reads, the United Workers' Party is calling on Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre to address the nation without delay following the public confirmation that Cabinet Minister Richard Frederick is the subject of an active police investigation. On July the 2nd, 2026, officers of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force executed a search of Minister Frederick's residence. Minister Frederick subsequently confirmed that his home was searched, that he was detained and questioned for several hours, and that investigators seized his cellular phone as part of the investigation. He further stated that he could not discuss the matter because the investigation is ongoing. These are extraordinary developments involving one of the most senior members of the government of St. Lucia. They cannot be met with silence from the country's political leadership. The investigation must be allowed to proceed independently, professionally, and without interference. Like every citizen, Minister Frederick is entitled to the presumption of innocence and due process under the law. The United Workers' Party will not speculate on matters that are properly the responsibility of the investigators. What is not a matter of speculation is that a sitting cabinet minister has publicly acknowledged that his home was searched, that he was detained and questioned by police, and that his cellular phone was seized as part of an active investigation. Those facts alone require a response from the Prime Minister. The existence of an ongoing police investigation does not relieve the Prime Minister of his responsibility to account to the people of St. Lucia. While the police determine the facts, the Prime Minister must determine whether the circumstances require. Please bear with me, trying to get to the appropriate part. It says that the existence of an ongoing police investigation does not relieve the Prime Minister of his responsibility to account to the people of St. Lucia. While the police determine the facts, the Prime Minister must determine whether the circumstances require political action. The people of St. Lucia deserve clear and unequivocal answers. Has the Prime Minister been formally briefed on this investigation? Does Richard Frederick continue to enjoy the Prime Minister's full confidence? Will Minister Frederick continue to discharge the responsibilities of ministerial office while he is the subject of an active police investigation? These are not questions for the Commissioner of Police. They are questions that only the Prime Minister can answer. The office of the Prime Minister carries the ultimate responsibility for the conduct, credibility, and accountability of the Cabinet. That responsibility cannot be deferred simply because of police investigation is underway. The Prime Minister has a responsibility to lead. That responsibility requires more than silence. It requires a clear statement to the people of St. Lucia on how his government intends to respond to these extraordinary developments. The United Workers' Party therefore calls on the Prime Minister to address the nation without further delay. Press release by the opposition United Workers' Party. We now open the lines to take your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. As we say, good afternoon to you, Jante, and let us find out what is happening in the chat rooms.
Good afternoon, Tim. Starting off on YouTube, our first comment reads, "Looks like St. Lucians don't deserve a response from them. Where is the outrage of the people, especially where is the PM of St. Lucia? 66, with the responsibility of a disabled adult, is a strain on this human being." Over on Facebook, our first comment reads, "The SLP afraid the SSDF economy will end."
Thank you so much, Janti. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. I suspect this individual is calling from France. Good afternoon, you're on the air.
Oui, bonsoir, Tim.
Oui, bon après-midi. You're calling from France, right?
Oui, je suis en France.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Je voulais demander nous, gens, cette liste. Mais si nous votons, nous votons dans cette liste. Ce n'est pas nous qui nous pour suivre le pays. Ok? Ce n'est pas parce qu'on nomme ça, c'est ministre, il doit suivre le pays. Ok? Je vois que les gens parlent comme des bêtises en les réseaux sociaux. Mais c'est arrêter ça. Loi, c'est pas. Loi, c'est. Il pas là pour nous yon cette liste, maman. C'est pas pour nous yon loi là. Loi là pour nous toute cette liste globale. Police, docteur, quel que soit son ya, loi là pour. Loi ou fait ça qui pas bon. Ok? Alors les autres, nous qu'à parler à comme si que nous cette liste pas ni droit respect un pays ça. C'est ça moi même ouais. Nous qui vote bah c'est ministre ça nous pas ni droit respect. C'est ça moi même ouais frère. Là ouais monde qui parler comme des bêtises mais c'est pas plus ça si maintenant là moi ton nom ça dit les il commande parlement les police Tchebo pour Tchebo là pour 6 jours. Pas plus ça moi ton nom ça dit ça. OK? Comment est-ce que loi ça là pour tout seul ou civil là et qui pas là pour lui? Moi je demander nous en question cette liste. Est-ce que nous yon qui doit faire loi cette liste c'est gonome ça qui là pas ni doit faire li? C'est ça moi était pour bonsoir.
Okay, merci Pukuye, calling from France, where it's just before 7 o'clock in the evening. 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Let's see, we have a WhatsApp message, and somebody says there, Tim, I really thought I would have heard the voice of Stanley Felix concerning this ongoing situation. Let's see if we have some more of your WhatsApp message. You mean up to now PJP cannot address the nation yet? What's going on in this place? And I hope the other Caribbean islands and leaders are hearing about this. BS is that government. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Some more of your messages. Tim, this is disrespect to the highest level. Where is the Prime Minister? Where are you hiding, Mr. Prime Minister? We need to hear from you. Please, at least we deserve to be respected. You owe that to us. Let's see if we have some more of your WhatsApp messages. I'm trying to clarify. Did the gentleman say the child's mother works at Equity? No. She does not work there, caller. But what the gentleman is saying, Mr. Fatal is saying, that the Ministry of Equity is familiar with his case and also familiar with the lady in question. 452-2979. We have a WhatsApp message. Good afternoon, Tim. I find like the ministers have no respect for the country and they feel they can do as they please and nothing is being done. Solutions need to come out in large numbers to show these are unacceptable in our country, or this is unacceptable in our country. Okay, somebody says, Tim, we need some wisdom from Rick Wayne. 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Again, we take you to Jante and what's happening in the chat room. Let's find out.
Continuing on Facebook, we have a comment reading, St. Lucia, what you allow is what will continue. Poor job. Unfortunately, the government does not care. Putting you first. We have another comment here saying, is St. Lucia a real place? So much is happening and no one is talking. Tim, that's not the person they want to help. SSDF, weapon no. A few comments here reading, I'm sure a check will come to you later, sir. A whole week since the exposure and nothing from the Prime Minister. He's busy being head of CARICOM when he can't head St. Lucia. Me blog. I don't want to hear any press release. It is time to get our tails on the road demonstrating. A few NewsSpinners here saying, St. Lucia has no leadership, period. Wild West, where everything is upside down. St. Lucia is one of the most corrupt countries in the world, where anything goes. SSDF has nothing to explain. The woman was an ex-government worker. We have more comments from our Facebook page reading, the laws don't apply to everyone, clearly. Did you say the same thing for your Baldus' case? What is Richard's affiliation with the SSDF? We have another comment here saying, PJP will not be addressing anything. And our final comment so far, I am not interested in whether the minister is guilty or innocent. This is not the issue now. The fact is that a minister and senator was asked to go on leave by the then UWP government due to undue pressure from the opposition, press and public.
Thank you so much, Jante. Somebody is asking via WhatsApp, curious to hear Dr. Kenny Anthony's response on this fiasco. That's according to a WhatsApp message. We have a call on the line. Let's go to that call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Timothy. How are you?
I'm okay, caller. Good afternoon to you.
Okay, Timothy, a couple of weeks ago, I think it's about 2 weeks ago, I called you, I spoke about our various responsibilities to the public, and I spoke about the press picking up their responsibilities when you have a weak opposition or non-existent opposition. And when I say weak, I don't mean weak as in they cannot do anything. But
in terms of the numbers in Parliament,
we only have one.
Mm-hmm.
We only have one member of, who won this seat. So this is a weakened opposition. All right? You would not believe the number of calls that I have gotten as to why we haven't done anything, why we're not speaking out. But people have spoken, right? People like to say that. Well, when I say the opposition, I mean the governing party likes to say that. The people have spoken, the people have spoken, the people have spoken, but the people continue to call us, and regardless of whether there was a 16-1 mandate, the fact of the matter is there are people who need representation, who are not represented, and the number of persons who I know voted against me and my party, who are calling and saying, my God, we did this is not what we signed up for. So the people need to speak. And so when people tell me you don't need to speak about certain issues, I feel obligated, because when I decided to come out as a politician or expose myself politically, this is what I signed up for, to be an advocate for the people, regardless of whether I won or I lost. The fact of the matter is, when you are an advocate, not for your personal gains, but for what you can give back to your country. And as a woman, even, to me, it's even more important that we have a voice. I believe, and I'm speaking about the press release that was written or that you read out with regard to coming out of from the United Workers' Party. I believe St. Lucians should not lose sight of what the issue is really about, the issue that is at hand, what it's really about. This is not simply about one minister or one police investigation, Timothy. It is about whether the government exercised the proper oversight over public money. St. Lucians need to understand that public money, money that came from you and came from me, those are two completely different questions. Whether the government exercised proper oversight over these public monies. The public investigates crime. The government must answer for governance. So the police do the job and government do their job. One does not cancel out the other. What's also important is the timeline. The opposition leader wrote requesting an accounting of $110 million allocated to the SSDF before any police search took place, before any radar was pinpointed on the minister. The leader of opposition asked for an accounting of $110 million that was allocated to the SSDF. A second letter followed, raising concerns, including allegations about signed blank checks. Signed blank check, that's a loaded gun. So let's be clear. These questions didn't appear because of an arrest. They were already being asked in writing. And we like to say the people have spoken. But we were doing our jobs and were asking the pertinent questions. Now, as a woman, I know something about accountability, and I'm sure women across the board will agree with me. Every day, women across St. Lucia manage households, balance budgets, we pay bills, we stretch our salaries, and somehow we make the ends meet. We know that good management starts with good records. If we are expected to account for every dollar in our home, why shouldn't the government account for every dollar belonging to the people? And let's remember, who suffers first when public money isn't properly managed? It is the mother who is waiting for health care. It is the grandmother who is raising grandchildren on a fixed income. Or, as you said earlier, the 66-year-old father who is unable and has a child who is not able. It is a young woman searching for opportunity. It is the struggling family facing high cost of living. It's Poor governance, Timothy, always has a human face, and we have to remember that. And very often, it is a woman's face. Do signed blank checks exist, or have they existed within the SSDF? We want to know. When were the SSDF and the National Economic Fund last independently audited? We need to know. Has anyone outside proper procedures had custody of those checks? We want to know. And does the Prime Minister still have confidence in those responsible for overseeing these funds? We absolutely need to know. These are not political questions, Timothy. These are governance questions. If you cannot trust your government, where are we heading? We are not asking anyone to pronounce guilt. That's not what we're doing. That is for the police and the courts to deal with. What we are asking for is transparency, accountability, and respect for the people whose money is being managed. Our money. We need to know. We need to stand up. Somebody earlier, Jante spoke about we don't want to have silence. Silence, Timothy, protects no one. I am speaking for the women of St. Lucia. We deserve answers, and so does every citizen of this country. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for calling. You just heard there from Laura Jean-Pierre Noel of the opposition UWP. Some of your calls at 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. WhatsApp message reads, I'm an avid listener to your show and follow much of what's taking place in my country, St. Lucia. It's very sad to see that our beautiful island state is in a state of disarray. In yesterday's broadcast, the name Jimmy Henry came up, and the information that was given was far from the truth. Firstly, his life was not destroyed. He is still standing. He is a fighter, a survivor, and God has favor on his life. No one checked on him after he was viciously pushed out of the UWP, a party which he loved and sacrificed everything for. Speaking about the RF situation, let us wait and see what the outcome is going to be. I remember the Labour Party was at the forefront of getting this gentleman and Raymond fired every day, including this very individual on his talk show. Now that the table has turned, not a word, not a word, not a word. There is more to say, but in due course. Again, let's see what the current administration stance will be. The ball is in its court. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Tim, have you heard the song Everybody Wants to Know, but some people don't know? Lord, put a hand. Pato is on the line. Good afternoon to you, Pato.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Good afternoon, sir.
And good afternoon to
Jante.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good. I have a reason to call this afternoon, Timmy. I always listen, but I have a serious reason to call. And that is about health. And I'm a sick person, and anytime it comes to that day, I have to put my voice into it, you see. There is that medication at St. Jude's. There's about roughly 6 to 7 months. I am looking for an inhaler. It is an inhaler you use like a pop, like when people have asthma. It's called Bicotile. They have the Bicotile 50, the 150, 200. And it's about 6 months. They has none at St. Jude. And they have all over in all of the drugstores. I want to know what's the reason for that. You know, that is an inhaler for COPD patients. You know, and I tell about 6 to 7 months. Yeah. The other thing is.
Okay, so why are you taking issue with it not being available at St. Jude? Is it cheaper there?
It is cheaper. It is cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
That is the reason. It is cheaper. And the Bicotile on the outside, they'll get it for $90, $80, $70.
Mm-hmm.
So the medication they have at the health center is the same little medication in the health center at St. Jude. Things are $5, $10, $15, you know. But the expensive one, you are not getting it. So that begs the question, if this government is Malawi government, now, if it was UWP or anyone that were doing it, I would have that same problem, that same issue, you know. So the other thing is, yesterday a lady called on another talk show that she made a visit at the old hospital, how they had it, they call it again, in Castries, the old hospital.
Victoria.
Mm-hmm. She went and make a visit at Victoria. And the doctor prescribed...
That's Betty Wells. Betty Wells.
Yeah, all right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got a new name. Okay, that's it. They prescribed 2 sets of medication for her. She found one at the hospital. So she had to go up to OKEU for another reason. So she said when she reached there, she'll find out if she can get the other one at OKEU. They told her, yes, they have the medication there. But because it's on the other side, she made the visit. She saw the doctor on the other side. They cannot give her the medication. And that I cannot understand. You know, because at the health centers, you get the same thing with the hospital. I'm not talking about Tapion, you know. So I want to ask the question, if somebody that are hearing me can just give a reason why it is so. And that is why we are in the situation we are. You're not getting, nobody explaining to you why this is happening. And not only in the medication, in all different areas, they don't owe you nothing. They don't owe you. You know, I do it how I want, when I want, where I want, and you have nothing to say. You see? Because you voted for me, is because you could not do it for yourself. So I am in charge. I'm in charge. And that is not right. The other thing I want to say...
Before you go on, caller, on that health care issue and the availability or unavailability of medication, I think those people, those government ministers, those in authority, those people in high place, serving in high positions, they do not put themselves in the shoes of the ordinary, struggling, poor, Malawi person who cannot fend for themselves economically and otherwise. People go to those various health institutions, they're looking forward to getting the medication, and if once in a while it is unavailable, then, I mean, you can understand. But this seems to be a common occurrence of medication not available. And somehow your people would call NewsSpin, make excuses for the authorities, and claim that you people are just manufacturing things, are just making up those stories.
No. If you are manufacturing things, somebody come out and give a reason why you cannot get the medication at OKEU if you make a visit at the Betty Wells hospital. Mm-hmm. You know, make it clear to us so we can understand, because not what you do is how you do some of the things. Keep us posted. Tell us something. Just don't do things.
No, there was this OECS PPS. What they would do is to purchase medication or medicine in bulk on behalf of health institutions in the sub-region. All right. I don't know. It's a while now I've not heard about this particular entity, and maybe it is not functioning at its optimum as it used to a few years ago. You know, it was an advantage for them to purchase the medication in bulk and then to be able to distribute it to the various health institutions in the OECS, because that's very important, you know. I mean, it's a life and death situation for people when they cannot get the medication because they cannot afford it as well. They're depending on the state.
They cannot. You know, so that is why I have the problem. When they talk about government for the poor people, I'm not seeing it. You know, now I know some people will have take an issue with me for that. You know, but I am the one suffering. Yeah. So I am the one to be calling out. You know, so to me that is not fair. So somebody is hearing my voice. If that is not how it is, or there's a reason why it is happening this way, give us the reason. Now, the last thing is, you see that gentleman that is crying out for help for his disabled son?
Yes.
That he need that help. I am telling you, it will take more, not a miracle, it will take more than a miracle for him to receive any help from the government because of he is complaining. Because those guys have it, like they are the oppressors. And when they are pressing you down, they take joy to have the sufferer's ball. You know, they're taking a joy in it, you know. So because you see him making that complaint there, you know, they are taking a pleasure in squeezing him there. It will take more than a miracle for him to receive a check or any sort of help because he's taking it too far. So you have to stay in your suffering and just suffer in silence and don't say a word, not even a whisper. That is what I'm leaving this afternoon.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Rigobert, using those strong words, you know, calling those people oppressors. You know, I think that's a very, very strong word, and I think some people tell you it's appropriate. Don't tell me in the run-up to a general election, you speak about the poor people, the indigent, and the Malay way, and you're putting the people first. Healthcare is a very serious issue. It's one thing that you cannot open the St. Jude Hospital for at least maybe 16 years or so, but it's a different problem altogether when medication, people cannot get the medication and they're depending on state institutions. They can't go to the private pharmacies and have at their disposal hundreds of dollars to purchase the medication, and they need it to live at least a comfortable, healthy life. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Hi. Yes. My contribution is I would like St. Lucians to observe how the Prime Minister has taken on the situation that is so public, and I would like them to understand that the silence of the Prime Minister is also signaling complacence. I also think that the St. Lucian public is a little too docile when it comes to that situation of public funds being used for situations that are not public affairs. Team, I would like to say that growing up in St. Lucia, I remember there was a gentleman that stood in Castries with a placard talking about biodiversity. Long before St. Lucia had any industry or organization talking about biodiversity. So why I brought this up is...
A gentleman with he was surrounded by flower pots and stuff?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my memories. And it took one single man to make the statement. So I'm just saying that St. Lucia often call for people to protest or often call for people to demonstrate. We just need one single person, one bold person, one brave person, somebody to physically be present, maybe in front of the government buildings, maybe in front of the courthouse, somebody that is willing to say enough is enough. We need answers. We need answers for the CIP. We need answers for these checks that we've been seeing. We need answers of why the Prime Minister has been quiet on these issues. We need answers for the crime issue. We need answers for the hospital that is still not built. We need answers of why there is ongoing issues of water, yet the prices are being raised on the people. We need answers. Just one brave person. That is my contribution. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling. St. Lucian calling from the diaspora, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. The WhatsApp message reads, Tim, Ubaldo's situation was totally different than Richard Frederick's. Ubaldo was never accused of any wrongdoing or any allegations by anyone at any time. In Richard's case, there are loads of allegations and accusations. And most of all, there is an investigation, either Richard as the subject of that investigation. Remember, Tim, Ubaldo was the complainant in a court matter, not a defendant. And finally, Ubaldo has never been the subject of any investigation. We need to get our facts straight. We have a call in the landline. Hello, good afternoon. NewsSpin, you on the air.
Timothy, a pleasant good afternoon to you and your listeners all over the world. PW on the line, Timothy.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, caller. Okay.
Let me start with the Minister of Agriculture, Timothy. You know, it has been a fiasco from cows to snakes to horses. They normally say, Timothy, the buck stops at the Minister of Agriculture, Lisa Jaraye. But I say the buck stops at the Ministry of Agriculture, Timothy, and Customs. If the Grenadian authorities didn't inform us of the situation concerning the horses, we would never know such had taken place, Timothy. You know, I want to say to Lisa Jaraye, let the gentleman say that the two horses are pets. As a minister, she's supposed to come when she addressed the public, say horses, livestock, or animals. First thing. Timothy, I listened to the press release by the Ministry of Agriculture yesterday, and one thing that I couldn't understand, Timothy, they said that the gentleman was already at the ports loading his horses. Why didn't do you really go to the beach, Timothy, and load your horses onto a boat, or there are ports of entry and entrance, Timothy? I want to know, because in this situation, the gentleman could have been stopped at customs, at the ports. These animals left. I want the Ministry of Agriculture to explain that to me. Why this boat could not have been stopped by the Customs and Excise Department? This is what I want to know. And I want to know, Timothy, that because of the circumstances of these horses, Timothy, I want to know whether we took necessary precautions in not allowing these animals to leave the country. When you are leaving the country with these livestock or animals, Timothy, you have to have proper documentation in your hand. You cannot leave the island without proper documentation. Why are you calling the Grenadian authorities to inform them to allow the gentleman to come into their country? If that happens, Timothy, whenever livestock is shipped from St. Lucia to Grenada, especially from St. Lucia, we are going to put on the special scrutiny. Special scrutiny. And I can tell you that it will make it very difficult for us to export or to have livestock taken from St. Lucia to any of the Caribbean islands. The ministry has to explain why they allow this gentleman to leave the country without proper documentation. The last thing I want to say, Timothy, is that if the police didn't have enough evidence, they would not appear at Mr. Richard Frederick's home at 4-5 o'clock in the morning. This is a very dangerous thing. Do you believe that the police did not have the right evidence to appear at Mr. Richard Frederick's residence? Somebody like Mr. Richard Frederick, which is always, so anxious to sue, so in the hurry to sue the police force, to sue the government. I really believe that the police commissioner was informed when that took place, the assistant police commissioner, and I even believe that the prime minister was informed before that happened, or actually when that was going on, Timothy. With the right evidence, that would have never taken place. Because I believe, and the people of St. Lucia believe, that the police had enough evidence to against Mr. Richard Frederick.
Okay,
This is why
you sound very lost there. PW, you sound very lost. You sound very lost on that particular issue. So let me try and help you. Thank you so much, Mr. Producer, because you're saying that is on the basis of evidence that the police would have gone to the minister's home. And very often it's on the basis of a suspicion, not the basis of evidence, because the police would have gone there empty-handed looking for the evidence. So don't say that it's on the basis of they had evidence. They had their suspicion, PW. So sometimes we are out of our depths and we try to address certain issues and we appear lost and we go in circles. So let us try to be extremely careful when we addressing such issues that are out of our competence. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. More of your calls and your WhatsApp messages in just a moment.
Advance your career at Lightspark Training with a globally recognized certification. Conveniently located on High Street, Castries, Lightspark offers a wide range of programs to make the most of your career. Certifications in project management, risk management, quality management, marketing, ACC accounting, human resources, Microsoft, Cisco, and IT technician certification, graphic design, web design, and programming. Complete a diploma in accounting in 6 months or a bachelor's degree in just over a year. Call us today at 451-8918 or visit us at www.lightspark.com.
Prepare for the hurricane season by ensuring trees and other objects on your property won't get tangled in overhead wires. Be careful. Ensure ladders and tools don't come within 10 feet of power lines. If a tree is near electrical lines, don't try to trim it yourself. Contact Lucelec at 452-2165 or 454-6617. Be smart, stay safe.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbute at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Ouais, monsieur, pas jodi moi la ka espérer plein bon glow, hein. Si t'en la pani pressure. Moi ni tongue, moi ni glow, mais money pressure. Ou savez ça moi besoin? A pomme. Ça c'est bêtise. Moi ka aller ko Europa. Yo ni toute pomme pour toute condition. Qui pour kay, qui pour business. Yo ni pli mer pour pomme cette ici. Yo ka ranger pomme aussi qui besoin service. Brand pump yo c'est Léo. Pump ça c'est major. I bon tout bonnement. Tant si ten moins actuellement. Glo ka fante.
Europa ni pump glo Léo en de pour les nerfs, orange et gris.
Visitez Europa ambassade Gozile. Les mots au téléphone 452-0763.
Every day, the pain is still there. Back, neck, shoulder, hip, chronic arthritis, pain down your leg to your toes, or heel pain when you put your foot on the ground. You've tried many things, but nothing works. Waiting will only make it worse. At La Clinique du Corps, we find the real cause of your pain using advanced MRI scans from head to toes with no radiation for more accurate results. Our specialist doctors provide faster diagnosis and effective treatment. Less pain, better movement, better life. All insurance is accepted. Call now before it gets worse. 451-6559, that's 451-6559, or WhatsApp 721-9950. WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique du Corps. Stop suffering. Start living.
Turn up the vibes with Flow! Flow is turning up the vibes with 400 rewards this carnival season. Sign up for postpaid, add it to your internet, and turn up your rewards. From free grocery vouchers and big handset discounts to free event tickets and costumes with the baddest bands. Flow customers are turning up 400 times. Sign up in store or visit discoverflow.co to claim your reward. Terms and conditions apply.
Night Meds is your dependable neighborhood pharmacy. You'll notice that upon entry, you are greeted by caring professional staff, attentive to your every need. Your prescriptions are always treated with a high degree of confidentiality, and we pride ourselves on providing speedy, efficient service. We carry a wide array commonly requested over-the-counter products, and our prices are very competitive. We offer blood pressure testing, blood sugar, and cholesterol testing. We're open to fill your prescriptions Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come visit Sadhu's gas station on the Miku Highway or call us at 572-6840 or WhatsApp 461-6840 for more information. Night Meds Pharmacy. We are your community med store.
An supposé, ça c'est dernier kwas gloa. En temps cette lisi, tant ka wem ka vini pli long ek pli wed, ek sous glo nou ka cheche. Ek la plia ka tobe pli fort ek pli te wib, ça ka dommage kay nou ek système glo nou. Mais nous sa changer ça. Nous sa conserver de l'eau et protéger sous de l'eau nous. Chaque petit démarche nous point ça aider. Wasko ka travaille ensemble et puis agent pour manager sous de l'eau et ka permettre pour assurer de l'eau en temps qui ka venir. Mais nous besoin si pauvre. Ensemble, nous sa protéger de l'eau nous, santé nous et ka assurer de l'eau pour l'autre génération. Un petit pas ça mène gros changement. On nous protéger de l'eau nous et la vie nous pour temps qui ka venir. Pour plus d'informations, visitez wascosandlucia.com.
A contract signed by the Minister of Caribbean Galaxy showed that, in fact, the number of passports sold would have yielded at the statutory rate for a citizenship based on the law about $1 billion US. $1 billion United States dollars. So the Canals project, based on the agreement with Caribbean Galaxy, would have been able to generate about $1 billion US. Why would you do that?
Madam President, the member is...
You're standing on a point of order, Senator? What is your point of order?
Could the member present us the source of that information about the $1 million? He's $1 billion. He's just carrying on and suggesting that there is some $1 billion that is to be made and we haven't found.
No, I want to say to you, I share that concern, and in this house we have to be careful what we put on record. We are responsible citizens and parliamentarians, and so when we make statements we should be able to verify our source. I've asked you because you made an amount of $1 billion US. This is a lot of money that you're talking about. I wanted you to tell me the exact source of where you got the quote from, and all about Galaxy, Caribbean Galaxy and Canals Bay. Where is your source of that information?
Madam President, I thank you very much, and I take the responsibility in this House very, very seriously. Senator Jean, I thank you very much for your intervention in terms of ensuring that sources are made known. And Madam President, I don't speak lightly on this because we're trying to find solutions to problems. So, Madam President, we know that the minister responsible for the CIP indicated very clearly that he had sold an amount of 5,000 files were issued, at a $200,000 US per file. A simple multiplication will give us 1 million. So that is the Madam President, I'm not sure you were hearing at the time.
I actually didn't. I was engaged in a conversation. Okay.
Yeah. And there is an agreement, agreement between Citizenship by Investment Board and Caribbean Galaxy Limited. There is just an agreement. It's dated 2022. We can make it a document of the House, Madam President, with your permission.
Yes.
We can get it to the clerk to print it.
This is what transpired recently during a sitting of the Senate. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Good afternoon to you again. Queen Jante. We have 3 queens. Queen Jante, what's happening in the chat rooms?
Starting off on YouTube, our first comment reads, "It is sad what St. Lucia has become. Very sad. Such a beautiful country being destroyed by cold-hearted men. A spineless and delusional nation to allow 16 men in a 238 square mile island to determine their future. Tens of millions of dollars are unaccounted for, but the mood is red." Another YouTube commenter is saying, "A man with a disabled child is crying for help, and SSDF has 100 million in its pockets, but I don't understand." Over here on Facebook, our first comment reads, "The PM doesn't owe us anything. 4.5 years of disrespect, and you voted him back in. St. Lucians don't have respect for themselves. They accept nonsense. PJP will never address that situation, period. His hope is that it will just go away. His thing is that we will make noise for 2 weeks and then forget about it and move on to the next issue. St. Lucians will accept evil over good, your family. Now for now mentality." We have another comment here saying, "PJP in this case is telling St. Lucians to go to hell. Whether you like it or not, there's nothing you can do about it. Labour government is boss and no one can test us. PJP is minister responsible for the police. Didn't the commissioner brief PJP on the search of that house and detention of the minister for questioning? Tim, remember PJP once said St. Lucia belongs to the Labour Party. I thought these were just words, but now I can see its action." A few comments here reading, "The Labours are fighting internally. How long will it stay quiet? I really don't feel, but because they offered St. Lucian $75,000, they refused it. I'm pretty sure he knows because the commissioner had to brief him every day. So the Labours are fighting." Some NewsSpinners are saying, "Tim, that's what they voted for. Had they had a problem before they had this problem before December the 1st, 2025. So what they're getting, let them hold it." I saw a clip where PJP in opposition was asking women of St. Lucia to ask for the removal of Ebola situation because of nudity and young girls in the media. Wonder what he will see now. On one hand, PJP said so many things in opposition, but now he's eating a piece of humble pie. We have more comments from our Facebook page reading, "St. Lucians created this monster we are dealing with now. Poor decision making at the polls. They're telling you to go buy it in the drugstore for more money. This government is just disrespectful. Big show for St. Jude's, but it is still closed." We have another comment here saying, "They voted against $75,000 insurance and now they're busy making barbecues. See why they're against national health insurance? Their pharmacy friends and family can make money off the heads of the Malawi's. Everything now is at Tapio. Where is the UWP's PRO? He should be gathering people, getting resources to start a storm. Do what the SLP would be doing. Be all over this like white on rice." And our final comment, "I personally feel the second PM, which is PJP, is waiting for the results from the first PM's allegations to ask him to resign."
Thank you so much, Jante, for that update. WhatsApp message. Compton fired Tucker twice. Kenny fired Walter. Schatz fired Henry and forced Ubaldas to resign. What is PJP waiting for? That's according to a WhatsApp message. Another one reads, "Tim, all those issues were evident before the last election, but St. Lucians chose to turn a blind eye to it and re-elect this administration. Don't cry after the fact because, honestly, all major handouts happened before elections, so we have to suffer until the next election." Person continues, so there was enough evidence. They had probable cause to detain Mr. Frederick, so there was enough evidence to hold him for questioning. He wasn't under arrest at this time and could have waived his right to remain silent once at the station, letting his lawyer speak. Now it's an ongoing investigation which may or may not lead to an arrest in the future. Let's wait. Again, that is according to a WhatsApp message. We await your calls. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. WhatsApp message reads, when the police receive information that a crime has been committed, they can obtain a search warrant by going to a justice of the peace and swear on oath that the information received is true to the best of his knowledge and belief, and the DPP would sign the document, or the JP would sign the document. The police are empowered to execute that warrant between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. The police would proceed to the home of the suspect and execute the warrant. If no evidence is found, they can take the suspect to the station for further investigation. That's according to a WhatsApp message. We have some more of your messages. Somebody simply writes, evidence can be shredded and destroyed. Some of your WhatsApp messages. We are on the lookout for more of your messages. Let's see there. Another WhatsApp message, and this one reads, Tim, the caller is so right about the inhaler. I use this inhaler for my asthma, and it has been a while. I'm not getting at Betty Wells Clinic, and every time I have to buy it for $70, and that is the most important inhaler to prevent the asthma. Some more messages just coming to hand. Somebody says there, I agree with you, Tim, cut him off. And let's see if we have some more messages to go through. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, good afternoon. Day by day I see how the level of hypocrisy is unbearable in St. Lucia. A few years ago then, Ms. Janine Compton accused Mr. Ezekiel Joseph of making an unwanted approach. It was unbelievable. The very same people calling for Richard's head today took Ms. Compton to the laundry, called her all kinds of names for exposing Mr. Joseph. So sad we have gotten to a situation where it depends on which political side you are. You will either condone or condemn. Some more messages to go through. One of them reads, Tim, the police had a search warrant. That's why his phones were seized, according to a WhatsApp message. Okay, we are looking out for more of your messages. Somebody says there, yes, Tim, it's so true. OKEU don't accept the prescriptions from Betty Wells, but you can use the prescription from OKEU in all the wellness centers. Another WhatsApp message. This one says, Tim, is what the Ministry of Sports to explain. I want the Ministry of Sports to explain what is happening to the grassroots cricket program in Gros-Islet. Where is the coach and the boys who did so well in the Sandals tournament this year? The boys and girls used to be on the field after school and on Saturdays. Now they are not getting either of the above. As a concerned parent, we need to know what's going on. Get the coaches to do the job. Not when they can. It has to remain consistent. Someone in the Ministry of Sports say something about this. Some more of your messages. Another one says there, Tim, where is Wayne Girard, Mr. Silent? Has he vanished again without a trace? Why don't they inform us about his outgoing and whereabouts? The only time you hear this man's voice or sometimes see his face is when election is near. Can somebody tell me why is Mr. Silence always unavailable? Is there something that they don't want us to know? And again, that is according to a WhatsApp message. Another one says there, could you imagine if RF was on the opposite side? All hell would break loose in St. Lucia. Shaking my head, biased. According to a WhatsApp message. Tim, that person didn't know the details of Janine and Ezekiel's situation. Janine herself asked me to drop the case. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Let's see there. Somebody says, and I will go and give my hard-earned money to SSDF. For ministers to run women and poor people like this can't get the necessary support, they can have 99 telethons. And I will go, okay, that's according to WhatsApp message. And I don't know that SSDF raises funds through telethons. I know. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Tim, is it me or is it hard to tell if it is UWP or SLP supporters who are complaining and crying? Before I could clearly tell the difference, but now it's like everyone is crying. Guy was right. We just start to cry. Again, that's according to a WhatsApp message. Now the person says, Tim, is Rick okay? Not hearing from him. What do you want? When you hear from Rick, you find that his contributions are too long on the broadcast, and when you don't hear from him, you find out what is wrong with Rick. The last time I heard, he is okay. Right? He's okay, and it's okay to be okay. All right, let's turn our attention to you. Jante, what's happening in the chat rooms?
Here on Facebook, we have a comment reading, Richard just resigned. Do something right for once. We were looking for it, and look it. I'm sorry for Sour St. Lucia right now. If election is called tomorrow, the results can never be 17-0 because Mikud South will continue lashing Sandra for y'all. There's no way she'll enter parliament as a winner. We have another commenter saying, these people don't understand the respect the positions they hold command. One thing, they have talk, that's all. WhatsApp message, where is his phone and his travel documents? Was he granted bail? A few commentary reading, they must be regretting bringing him into the party. If a container of drugs landed in St. Lucia and up to now nothing, do you feel you will get an explanation from PJP on RF? Wait. Power makes you reckless. Some news spinners here saying, you all labors always hearing what was never said. St. Lucia is in deep water from those ministers. Kisa, why can't medication be purchased from any pharmacy on island? We have another comment here saying, men will continue to do what they want with the women in St. Lucia. These women in government never come out and denounce the injustices. Disgusting. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Shante, for that update. We're trying to go through some more of your WhatsApp messages. And let's see if we could access one of them right now. Somebody says that his contributions are very educational. I like listening to him, hence I asked regarding the whereabouts of Rick Wayne. Let's see if we have some more of your contributions. But he says, how many of those ministers lead by example with good families, married with children? Where's our morals in the society? My position remains, no pension for those ministers if the country is left in debt. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. It says that, Tim, imagine some banks don't cash checks for us if we don't have an account at the bank. We cannot have an account in every bank, so I'd love the Prime Minister to address that for the people as well, according to a WhatsApp message. Another one says there, has any reporter questioned the SSDF? If not, they should be by the office waiting for an interview. A call from Canada. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello.
Saudi fouet.
Oui, moi bon. Ou même?
Moi la fouet. Good morning, good afternoon, Jante.
Good afternoon.
How's it going, mademoiselle? Hope all is well and you're feeling much better.
Thank you, I am.
And do yourself a favor. Try not to get sick in St. Lucia, okay?
Okay.
All right. Anyways, Timothy, I'm here to add my contribution, so I would like a few minutes of your time. So first of all, to the gentleman who has the child with the disability, when you get a chance, can you please message me his phone number, and
okay,
I could try to assist him in any way possible that I can.
Yeah, that's Mr. Fatal Ismail.
Yes, I the name registers in my brain quite well because just like him, I am also a single parent, and being a single parent with a normal child is difficult as it is, and having one with such a severe disability is pretty much a life sentence to him. Send me his digits and whatever I can or my friends can do for him, we are going to do as much as we can or as little as we can.
I will do that, sir.
Anyways, Tim. And the reason Mr.
And I must say, my news spinners are very generous people. I do appreciate that. The community,
you're welcome,
the NewsSpin community is very generous. Yes, go ahead, continue, Colin.
We're the cream of the crop. What else do you expect?
Yes.
Anyways, the reason Mr. Faisal may not be getting any help, Tim, speaks more about our society than it does about our government, Tim. As I always stress, the people who work in government come from broader society, Tim. This is our mentality in St. Lucia, that people who suffer from disabilities are not people, Tim. They don't deserve the respect and the courtesy that the quote-unquote normal person gets, Tim. Here we are, checks popping up all over the place, blank, signed, 1800, 1700, and then there's this poor gentleman who, and you can clearly hear the pain in the man's voice, you know, Tim. Brothers Day, you can hear the pain in the man's voice, and not a single person in equity has taken the time. These are the times where the law has to be broken. In times like these, the law needs to be broken. The law saying, okay, you can help that person, pamwe. Okay? Because not all laws are just. The law say, okay, a man with a child with a severe disability, a 66-year-old man, and then you're going to come tell me, the law says and the rules, but then the politicians can bend the rules and break the rules to satisfy their urges and their needs. Huh? But then to help the poor and the people who pay into that fund, or the people that money belongs to, it's problematic. If it's a real place, we living in a simulation for real or what? Are people that stupid and callous, Tim? Are people that selfish in real life, Tim? I wouldn't be able to do it, Tim, if I work in equity. Je take any chair for it, pour écouter moi tous les jours, pour savoir, monsieur Faisal, te couillé, et dit qu'on about situation ça, et moko te fait, tout ça qui était possible pour aider l'homme ça. Même si moi te pète travail moi. Pour ça moi j'ai été scoutant la vie mon savtin. Puis so elle ouais vinn pour moun marron c'est game ça out ça. Avec la vie moun avec bail comme ça. Boss moi vinn pour faire mon ça. Puis naï fouiller là même moi. On dit dans pan ça et aider.
Oui.
Aider monsieur. Là on pète travail moi tim. Vous comprenez ça là?
À ce point.
Anyways, l'autre côté. Oui, en les principes.
And by the way, as you're speaking there, sir, you have offered to help this gentleman. We have two other people from the diaspora. They want his number, so I'll be sending Mr. Fatal Ishmael's number to you, so you could provide any level of assistance to him. So that's you and two other new spinners. Hooray to the new spin community. Continue, sir.
Anyways, what quoted him? I have In September, my son is going to be, I have only one child. He's going to be 18 years old, Tim. I have been a single father for 16 years now. So 17 years now, St. Jude's breakdown, right? St. Jude's burned down and it was supposed to be refurbished. The longest and biggest construction project involving concrete on the planet Earth is called the Three Gorges Dam on the Yangtze River in China. It took 17 years to complete it.
Wow.
With over 100 metric tons or megapascals of concrete, Tim. It took them 17 years to complete that feat, Tim. Now, I am in no way, shape, or form comparing our country's technology to that of China. But our gas, more hot.
I guess in the case of those projects, the complication that's involved. But in the case of St. Jude's, is corruption / incompetence and also disrespect for the people.
Tim, let me stop you there on your show. Please. We're not accusing anyone on NewsSpin of corruption, my brother.
No. we are not, but that caller, that one.
This is an evidence-based show.
Yeah. You need to provide. But let me do like someone. I have the evidence. Look at there. You understand?
You're gonna speculate. You're gonna wave.
Yeah.
Tim, I can't see you. I'm using my phone to call you. Ironically, no one has come and waved any documents in his defense lately. I'm not making fun of them, but it's just funny. I haven't seen any documents being waved about and then giving it fancy names like the Belrose Doctrine and Papi show like that. Shit that resonates with small-minded people. It sounds interesting. You know what I mean, Tim?
Yeah.
It's like a buzzword. Like the new buzzword nowadays is narcissism, or you're a narcissist, or you're projecting. It makes people or demure. It makes people feel as if like they're intelligent. You understand what I mean? When really they're just parroting what they heard other people say, and they use this shit out of context and so on and so forth. I don't have time to get into it. But that's what it is with I don't see the man waving nothing and saying, okay, all right, and whatever. It's okay. Now all of a sudden, it's to the police. But Miss Jean-Pierre, thank you for bringing up the point that you made about this being in public discourse before the police got involved. Because St. Lucians are not paying attention to him. Okay, everything that surrounds the life of the St. Lucian person, the normal everyday person, is sensationalism and drama. If it's not dramatic and sensational, they do not care. When a baby dies, everybody, a single mother with 3-4 children who needs 2 books to send her children to school, everybody turns the other eye because there's nothing to gain from that. That's the nature of our people who are transactional. So that's why you find SSDF checks will help people because people get in to perform the coitus interruptus in return for those checks. Now, Mr. Faisal cannot provide them with that pleasure. So they will not take their time to make sure that, hey, this gentleman gets help. Because there's nothing they're not gaining anything in return. They're not getting any attention. They're not getting any pleasure. They're not being entertained, and they're not getting any money in return. So St. Lucians, we everything we do is transactional. We don't just do good for the sake of doing good. And I will end here, Tim. There's this famous American physicist by the name of Steven Weinberg who said that in the normal and ordinary universe, Tim, the good people will do the best they can, and the bad people will do all the bad that they can. So, without any prompting, if you're a good person, we help our neighbor, we help our friends, and in some cases, even our enemies when we donate blood, and so on and so forth. So, take this up to the St. Lucians. Please, help thy neighbor. And love you, everyone. Big up, Senior Rigobert. I heard your voice today, sir. I'm quite happy to hear you every time. Anywhere you sit down, stand up, or lay down in the world. Love you, Tim. Love you, St. Lucia. Bye, Jante. Take care, everyone.
Thank you so much for calling. And I'll be sending you Mr. Fatal Ishmael's number. Thank you so much for calling. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Still to come, we'll be hearing from the world's best Prime Minister. For 3 days only, Peter and Company Auto is bringing you an unbelievable Nissan Qashqai flash sale. From Wednesday to Friday, this is your chance to own the SUV that's turning heads everywhere. With its bold design, luxurious comfort, intelligent technology, exceptional fuel efficiency, and advanced safety features, the Nissan Qashqai is built to impress. Hurry! This incredible deal won't last. Come down to Peter & Company Auto. 3 days, incredible savings. Own a Nissan Qashqai. You deserve it. And that sale starts today and goes up until Friday at Peter & Company Auto. Stay with us. We'll be hearing from the Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley in just a bit.
Advance your career at LightSpark Training with a globally recognized certification. Conveniently located on High Street, Castries, LightSpark offers a wide range of programs to make the most of your career. Certifications in project management, risk management, quality management, marketing, ACC accounting, human resources, Microsoft, Cisco, and IT technician certification, graphic design, web design, and programming. Complete a diploma in accounting in 6 months or a bachelor's degree in just over a year. Call us today at 451-8918 or visit us at www.lightspark.com.
Every day, the pain is still there. Back, neck, shoulder, hip, chronic arthritis, pain down your leg to your toes, or heel pain when you put your foot on the ground. You've tried many things, but nothing works. Waiting will only make it worse. At La Clinique du Corps, we find the real cause of your pain using advanced MRI scans from head to toes with no radiation for more accurate results. Our specialist doctors provide faster diagnosis and effective treatment. Less pain, better movement, better life. All insurance is accepted. Call now before it gets worse. 451-6559, that's 451-6559, or WhatsApp 721-9950. WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique du Corps. Stop suffering. Start living.
We ready for the road. We ready for the road. We First National. Your next move bold. We ready for the road. We ready for the road. We First National. Your next move bold. Get ready for your next ride with the drive ahead from First National Bank. Enjoy up to 100% financing and rock bottom interest rates on new vehicle loans. Because we're not only here for you, we're driving ahead with you. For the road with First National Bank. Your next move bold. Visit one of our partner dealerships, any First National Bank branch or firstnationalbankonline.com today. Promotion runs through November 30th. Terms and conditions apply.
Lucilec aveti ou pour point précaution durant saison cyclone Salah. Mi un petit commission qui kaywen de ou protéger la vie ou ek propriétaire ou. Couiller Lucilec avant ou trim et ben couper pied bois qui pouet ligne électrique. Veillez pour ligne courant électrique avant ou monter l'échelle. Fait assurer l'échelle, scaffold et bout d'outil ou ka servi pas venir moins qui 10 pieds hors ligne courant électrique. Pas jamais servi appliance et ben outils qui ka servi courant électrique. Des wall côté qui mouillé et ben en la pli. Ça c'était en commission hors Lucilec.
Exceeding your expectations is what we strive for at Lazarus Funeral Home. Losing a loved one isn't something you can foresee. Since the beginning, affordability has been one of our priorities. Every day we're proving that burials don't have to be expensive. If cost is a factor in your time of bereavement, call Lazarus Funeral Home. We have coffins starting at $800 plus taxes. Nothing can cause more disappointment than poor quality. Help us help you. Keep your last memory of your loved one sacred. Make it special. Make it Lazarus Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Located at Bibliothèque Castries at 452-7491 and New Dock Road V4 at 454-6555.
Stop paying full price. With Flow, you can slash your bill in half. You heard right. Cut your mobile bill in half when you add mobile to internet. That's the most reliable Wi-Fi at home. Plus, all the data you need on the go. So don't wait. Double your connection and double your value for half the price. Add mobile to internet today. Visit in-store or online at discoverflow.co for more details.
Ouais, messieurs. Pas jodi moi la ka espérer plein bon glow. Si ten la pani pressure. Moi ni tongue, moi ni glow, me money pressure. Ou sav sa moi besoin? A pomme. Ça c'est bêtise. Moi ka aller ko Europa. Yo ni toute pomme pour toute condition. Qui pour kay, qui pour business. Yo ni pli mer pour pomme cette ici. Yo ka ranger pomme aussi qui besoin service. Prendre pomme yo c'est Léo. Pomme ça c'est major. I bon tout bonnement. Tant si ten moi actuellement. Glo ka fante.
Europa ni pomme glolé ou anda pour les nerfs, joange et gris.
Visitez Europa ambassade Gozile. Les mots au téléphone 452 0763.
I would like to put on the table a formal compact between the private sector and the government and labor for the benefit of the citizens of the region. Not on everything, but we have tried it, and for the most part, it has worked in insulating us from significant increases on essential food and sanitary items. There is no basis, and forgive me, Massey, but Massey cannot make $49 million in profit in Barbados, and middle class people can't afford to buy food. They could have made $20 million in profit in these circumstances, and they would have been just as good, just as happy, and $29 million would have been left in the pockets of the people who have to decide whether to eat today or not to eat. Bottom line is, that is a kind of compact. We're not asking you to do it on cheeses and nuts and all these fancy things, one cheese. And quite frankly, we need to be able to make sure that we leave here with a common approach. If there is a common approach, then invariably it becomes difficult for others to exploit the fact that you are prepared to offer on the table something back in order to ensure that we can sustain the journey, rather than you making extraordinary profits but living in a society that you can't.
You just heard there from the world's best Prime Minister, Mia Mottley, out of Barbados. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Let's take a final update from you, Jante, and we'll go through some of the WhatsApp messages. Already 3 people from the diaspora, they have called in search of Mr. Vital Ishmael's number. We'll be forwarding those numbers to you people in the diaspora so you could provide him some assistance so that he also will be in a position to respond to the plight of his disabled son. Over to you, Jante.
Starting off on YouTube, our first comment reads, St. Vincent publicized their ports deals and Vincentians are able to buy shares, but St. Lucians are stuck with a secret GPH deal. UWP aren't ready yet. What about the commission of inquiry into Joy's killing? I suppose it will not happen just because Sarah Bobre suggested it. Nobody who truly loves St. Lucia can support PJP and the SLP government. Over on Facebook, our first comment reads, the PM is not absent, just absent-minded. Tim, where's the deputy PM? Isn't he supposed to stand in on the absence of the PM? SSDF have raised funds via telethons before. We have another comment saying, 2 queens, 2 prime ministers, 2 petos. SSDF, I want an audit. Stakeholders want an audit. Rick is waiting for the verdict. A few comments are reading, the chapter has just begun. There are more questions than answers. The poorest of the poor, Danny Butcher, should be in the same community as Mr. Vital. Some news spinners are saying we still have good people in this world. News spinners are a section of the Ministry of Equity or SSDF. St. Lucians love the hospital in the stadium, especially those in the south. We have more comments from our Facebook page reading, a lot of St. Lucians are very vain and small-minded. Tim, Barbados built a district hospital for the elderly. It took them 2 years to complete, and it's ready for the patients to move in. What is wrong with St. Lucia's St. Jude's cannot finish? Shaking my head. To everyone who wants to help this gentleman, I say a big thank you. I don't know y'all and I don't know him. May God bless y'all for the kindness.
Thank you so much, Jante, for this final update. Let's take a final call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello.
Yeah, Tim.
Good afternoon to you, caller.
How you doing, brother?
I am okay. How about you?
Doing good, doing good.
What's in your mind, sir?
Thanks for keeping up the great work.
You're welcome, sir.
Calling you from Brooklyn, New York.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, real quick, 2 things. First thing I had to do with, there's one prominent gentleman who always complains I don't want to mention his name, but he complains, and I don't like the way he puts down our laborers and our workers in St. Lucia, because we all come from poor communities, you know. We come from a very humble beginnings as St. Lucians.
Yeah.
You know, so what I want to appeal to this man, everybody would know who he is. He's the one who was the main contractor at the St. Jude's, and he's always on Facebook boasting of several projects all over the Caribbean. I want to appeal to him to please stop disparaging and belittling our people. What he can do as a gentleman who profess to not able to find skilled workers is to create an academy and get equipment and potential assistance from the government for all the youths that are in gun violence and in all sort of situations they find themselves in. Create an academy for skilled carpenters, masons, and guarantee them employment. Does that make sense, Tim?
Yes, it does.
Am I making sense there?
Yes, it does. It does.
Yeah, so I want to appeal to this young man, you know, as his contribution to St. Lucia and as a good corporate citizen, you know, he should set up an academy, yeah, import some equipment, learning equipment, hire some skilled professors in the industry, and have them educate and help build the skills of our St. Lucian fellow men, and stop disparaging the people. All
well,
right?
I don't
That's
know,
number one.
Cole, I don't know if he's belittling the people. I don't know. I think he might be stating a reality. You have a number of people who are not skilled workers.
There is a way you say certain things, yeah, Tim?
Mm-hmm.
There's a way to say certain things, because, you know, we St. Lucians, we're very proud people. So, regardless of whether it is a situation, it is factual, but, you know, to everyone, they have their own opinion. So I just want to caution him on that point, because a lot of people seem to take offense. The second thing I want to talk about is Joy, the young lady who passed away. Tim, why isn't there demonstrations and picketing of the ministers, the various ministerial offices that are in charge? Why isn't the people rising up against such atrocities? I want to hear your feedback on that. What's going on?
Maybe it's not part of our culture. Maybe we just focused on being supporters of a political party or politicians, and we do not want to offend them, so we suffer in silence. That's what it is.
But there is no offense in that.
We don't want to embarrass our government. We don't want to embarrass our parliamentary representative. And that is definitely to our detriment as a people. When we complain behind closed doors, we complain quietly. It does not mean that just because you are not complaining directly to a politician, that politician would realize that there is need for them to attend to your needs. And that is what we are experiencing at this point in time.
Well, the power is the people. Never forget that.
Mm-hmm.
We put them there. We are their boss. They're not our boss. I mean, I don't want to, and I'll tell you straight up, a bunch of these guys are a bunch of jackasses and don't know what they're doing, you know, and they need to look into this, and they need to nip this situation in the bud, because we cannot keep having this over and over and over again. And people rise up, all right? I'm sure there's one or two leaders amongst you. I myself will play my part when I can, but we need to rise up. We need to take back our country. We cannot allow a few individuals to do as they please with impunity. So that's my contribution, basically. And keep up the great work, my friend.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for calling from the diaspora. And in case you want to assist Mr. Fatal Ishmael, many of you have already sent me a WhatsApp message asking for his number. I might as well give it on the air right now before we conclude the broadcast. Mr. Fatal Ishmael's number. Remember, he's a gentleman who is currently struggling with a disabled son. I think that son is maybe in his 20s or early 30s, and he's from the south of the island. Mr. Fatal Ishmael's number is 715-5726. Again, 715-5726. 715-5726. And I'll still send the number over to you individuals who have requested it, so stand by for that. Time now for our NewsSpin question of the day. The NewsSpin question of the day reads: amid the allegations, not a word from SSDF officials or its board of directors. Amid the allegations, not a word from SSDF officials or its board of directors. A question we are asking. The NewsSpin question of the day. The NewsSpin news of the day reads: Nigeria's president, remember him? Visited St. Lucia a few months ago, Tinubu. Nigeria's president demands to know how fake agency was allegedly set up in his office. Nigeria's president demands to know how fake agency was allegedly set up in his office. The NewsSpin news of the day. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Don't forget, via YouTube, like the video, share, subscribe to the NewsSpin YouTube channel, and click the notification bell to help the NewsSpin channel grow. My name is Timothy Poleon. Goodbye.